when you say Brandon Ingram, I didn't even have Brandon Ingram as a snub.
Wow.
The person I
Really?
had as a snub on the
24 a
Pelicans
game.
was Zion, who had uh, 23 points, and he's just going on a trend up. His efficiency is insane.
Yeah.
He's clearly the most focal point on the Pelicans when we see teams collapsing on him, teams doubling him, tripling him, teams leaving players wide open, making Hey Zion become a passer. I think that's clear.
I agree with you that Zion is the focal point. It's even more over the last 2 weeks. They've
Yeah,
just become a really good offensive team, and Zion is just on an absolute tear, like you said. But they're almost 7 points worse defensively with Zion on the floor than off. Like Zion is truly one of the worst defenders in the league this year. And when you just watch the effort that he has, he's just a terrible defender, which none of us really expected when he was coming out of Duke. So to me, he can't even be considered as an all-star. Just his defense is so bad. He's such a one-sided, one-dimensional player. Now Ingram is not an amazing
yeah,
defender
Ingram
either.
is not a good defender. If he was an average defender, then we could have this conversation. But Ingram is as bad as a defender.
I wouldn't say
Maybe
he's as
not
bad.
statistically,
Yeah,
maybe not statistically, but when you're looking at it, people are just blowing by Ingram all the time, and that's causing Steven Adams to collapse. And like Steven Adams is carrying this defense, he's making them win the games that he wins. But it's kind of just the young guys not buying into Van Gundy's system.
yeah,
And I think when they're both bad defenders, it doesn't really matter how much they're worse at. Because if you look at Zion's stats, you said 24 for Ingram.
yeah.
Zion is also averaging 24.4, but last month he's averaging 26.1. Last 2 weeks he's averaging 25.4, and
Yeah.
last week he's averaging 27.8.
Yeah.
It's just a
No,
huge
he's like
trend
you
up.
said, his direction right now is just a straight up arrow, at least
Yeah,
offensively. And any improvement defensively would be a straight up arrow because, like I said, he's terrible. Like you, I agree with you. Ingram is not a good defender either. But to me, start to finish or start to current this season, he's been their most consistent offensive player. Zion has been better lately, but Ingram has just given you 24 every night, 24, 5, and 5. Uh, Efficient from the field, 39% from three. He probably doesn't deserve to be an all star, honestly, but I shouldn't say it like that. He's a deserving player. He just probably shouldn't make the cut. I just like him. I just really like watching him. I like the way he plays. I like how he takes mid range jumpers. I just like players who do that. And to me, I just wanted to put him in there. It's probably biased. I just like him.
yeah, and I think coaches are gonna like look at that field goal percentage too, man. Like 60% for the season for Zion. Like they're
Yeah,
at a point where it's like, yeah, we triple this guy, but he's still gonna make that inside paint little like
yeah,
hook that he does
yeah,
6 out of 10 times, and we're
yeah,
like doubling him, tripling him. Like
yeah,
if he becomes an average defender, like we're talking about an all-star starter here.
yeah.
Like
No, we are.
that's how much the Pelicans improve because they become a playoff team if he becomes
Mm-hmm.
an average defender. And like we're talking about an all-star starter, and he's way more entertaining, like
Oh yeah,
highlight
no, no,
wise,
he
not
is. Yeah,
like for the
yeah,
whole in tournament of the game, but highlights, it's either Zion or LaMelo Ball. Like they're the guys who eat up the highlights. I hope he's probably not going to make the All-Star game. We know that's not, but he is a snub. I hope he goes into the dunk contest. I don't know
yeah,
how entertaining his dunks will be, but they will be powerful. And
yeah,
to do it in an empty gym, they will be loud. So I hope
yeah,
Zion is somehow still in this
yeah.
All-Star weekend.
And I think if it were up to the fans, there might be a chance for him to get in. But if it's up to coaches with the defense that he brings to the table, there's just no chance. Coaches like will not put such a one-sided player into the All-Star game over some of the guys here. Thanks for watching. Listen to the Stretch the Floor podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, and follow us on Instagram.